Hi, I'm Carolyn Evans-Hammond, and welcome to my tasting room. Carolyn's Tasting Room is where you can taste exciting wines with me. And tonight, we feature fabulous wines for last-minute gifting. These are perfect for that host or hostess gift, a last-minute little something, or stuffing in someone's stocking. They include the non-vintage Toro Secco Sparkling White from Spain, the 2021 Soleil Reserve Chardonnay from Santa Lucia, Highlands in Monterey County, California, and the 2021 Salentein Reserve Malbec from the Uco Valley, Mendoza, Argentina. So let's taste. So the first wine in our flight is Toro Secco. So this is a light, lively, sparkling wine from Spain based on 3 grape varieties that are indigenous to that part of the world. So it's got about 50% Macabeo, 30% Perolata, and 20% Xarello. So those 3 grape varieties are in this, and I like it because that blend contributes a little bit of complexity, a little bit of nuance, and I think that's important, even at the affordable level of $14 a bottle. I think this is $13.95 or something like that, but I think the value's there. So pour yourself a glass and let's taste. Immediately notice the color. You know, it's sort of straw, pale straw, not too deep, which is important. If this was sort of deep or amber colored, you'd know that it might be a little bit off, but this is the color we want to see. It's clear and bright, and it's pierced with persistent bubbles. Perfect. On the nose, lovely. Notice how clean that is, and I like it because it's not just sort of single note. Did you notice that? There's peach aromas, sort of sweet peach aromas, but there's also this lovely, almost bitter, pithy note. Maybe grapefruit and grapefruit pith. So I like that because it lends a little bit of sophistication. And on the palate, isn't that lovely? Sweeps in, immediately lip smacking, immediately mouth watering, wonderful acidity. That makes it a refresher. Now this does have, some residual sugar. It has, I think, around 14 grams per liter, which you can notice if you focus on the tip of the tongue, but you don't notice it otherwise. It just tastes quenching because it's got that great tension derived from the brisk, mouth-watering acidity. Let's have another sip. We're going to focus on the character of the wine. I love that. Now, the flavors, do you notice the flavors are understated? It's not too fruit forward. We are in the old world where it's made from old world varieties. So it's not, aggressive or fruity. It's not too juicy. Instead, the flavors nod toward different things. And it is nodding toward, I think, stone fruit, but more apricot on the palate than peach. And that grapefruit note is ruby grapefruit rather than white grapefruit, with this sort of pithy note sort of lingering on the finish a little bit and leaving a slight astringency, which is lovely on the finish. Do you get that? It's sort of almost textural. I like that because that texture lingers and gives some persistence to the length. Another mark of quality, really. Let's have one more sip. Lively. I like the way the bubbles dance on the palate and create a little bit of a creamy mouthfeel. So this is a lovely wine to serve, over the holidays or gift. You can give it even, with a little pouch of roasted almonds, because almonds with those stone fruit notes, magic. And the second wine in our flight is a wooded Chardonnay that I think you're going to love. If you're not familiar with it, pour yourself a glass and let's have a taste. So this is a 2021 Reserve Chardonnay, Soleil, and it's from, it's from the Santa Lucia Highlands, which is a part of Monterey that's a very cool climate, and they're well known for their Chardonnay. So I think we'll see why. Pour yourself a glass. Notice the color. Great depth of color. There's a deep sort of lemon hue here, and that's because this spent some time in French oak. So it spent about 11 months in French oak barrels, and I think that's imparting some of that color. So give it a swirl. And I want you to notice the inside of the glass. Do you notice how you can see the legs draping down the inside of the glass? That's because this is a full-bodied wine. Now this has about 14.5% alcohol, so it's not light, but I think you'll find elegance and lift too to balance that. So let's have a nose, a good swirl and a nose. So complex. Buttered pastry immediately, yes. The fruit, do you notice lemon curd? And maybe baked apple and cream, sort of chantilly cream. And a note maybe of stone fruit, but more apricot than peach. Sort of every time you approach it, there's something else. I'm also getting a little bit of a nut, sort of almond. So lots going on, but it's understated too. So those aromas are feathery. They're not forward. And I think that's sophisticated. I like that. It's asking you to come to it. And on the palate, sweeps in, glassy, cool, perfectly balanced. That texture, that glassy texture is a testament to balance. Everything is hanging together beautifully. The acid, the alcohol, the fruit are all in perfect balance. There is no residual sugar here. I think it's 2 grams per liter, so really none. It's bone dry, and yet it tastes wonderful. Like there's enough fruit stuffing in that sweet fruit stuffing to make it seem, tasty, delicious, accessible, and yet also sophisticated. So let's have a quick taste and see what we're noticing character-wise. Lemon, yes. Apple, yes. But understated in lots of buttery pastry. That flaky pastry, almost like a millefeuille, one of those, French pastries with the cream and the layers of butter pastry. Beautiful, almost shatters in the mouth. And then all of that fruit comes through. And on the finish, I'm getting tons of that lemon curd. And it leaves the palate beautifully seasoned, as well as a little bit of salinity. A little bit, just seasoning it. Do you notice that? And it goes on and on. And the fact that Santa Lucia is a cool climate in Monterey, that upright lift that comes through and pierces the fruit and keeps it so lifted and adds elegance is absolutely evident. There's a tart twist here that lingers right through to the finish. Do you notice that? Love this. This is a great, now this is a wine that costs around $30 in Canada and around $20 in the US. I think the value proposition is quite high though. It's a kind of wine you can gift with confidence for sure, and it goes fabulously at the table. In fact, I would love to tuck it in a stocking with your favorite roast chicken recipe. And the third wine in our flight is a big, bold red. It's from Argentina. It's a Malbec, and it's from the Uco Valley, which is known for producing, really good, sort of serious red wines because of the altitude. Now, this is a wine that sells for less than $20 in Canada and around $15 in the US. And I think the value proposition is high, which is why I'm sharing it with you. So pour yourself a glass and let's taste. First, let's look at the color. Notice the depth of color. That right there is altitude. It's almost black in the center, and it tapers to a very narrow purple rim. So give it a swirl and a sniff. Isn't that great? Muddled blackberries, muddled black cherries, lots of black fruit, damsons even. And a note maybe underpinning that, some savory nuances. I'm getting a little bit of toasted tobacco, as well as actual toast. And a stony minerality that calls to mind slate for me. Are you getting that? Now, this did spend about 12 to 14 months in oak, and that's imparting some of those savory notes, as well as a little bit of spice. You get some black pepper, Suddenly I want black pepper, one of those peppercorn steaks or something. So we've got that. Now my mouth is watering. Is yours? Let's have a sip. Streams in. It's not forward. Do you notice that? It's an understated wine. It's restrained, it's discreet, and that's sophisticated. It's not in your face, it's not all fruity. It's actually got this lovely unfolding or fanning out of flavor that echoes things found on on the nose, but not in a forward way. This is not brash at all. Love that. So what are you getting? Let's have a taste. Blackberry, yes. Plum, yes, but this is a dry wine. It's not sweet at all, so these fruit flavors are dry. This has, I think, 2 or 3 grams of residual sugar, so it's a bone dry wine, and you get that. There's no alcoholic heat at the back of the palate at all, suggesting that there is a ton of fruit stuffing, even though it isn't forward. That extract is really quite powerful because this is 14% alcohol. So the fact that there's no heat showing through is quite something. It's a testament to how, well made it is. Good fruit here. Let's have another sip and just look at the length. I love how it starts with fruit and then quickly arcs into all savory notes. So yes, the tobacco, as well as a hint of that slate I found. Do you get that? A little bit of olive, like black olive pit or something like that. And then it lingers and lingers. I love that. Now this is, Argentina is known for their meat. So this might be the kind of gift you give on its own to a meat lover or a grill master or something like that. Or you could even give it with some, barbecue utensils or a really good cookbook. So there you have it. Some smart, delicious, good value wines to wrap up your holiday gifting. Which wine did you like best? Let me know on social. And remember, this was the first of a 2-part series, so mark your calendar and join me Friday at 7 for the second segment on this last-minute gifting Carolyn's Tasting Room. So you can drink better, gift better, and learn how.